Let's talk about the difference between being too picky and settling. So in today's podcast, Cece and I, we're going to go over some of the things that you have to keep an eye out for in your relationship to determine, are you being too picky or are you settling? So stay tuned.
Hey, Blissful friends, welcome back to another episode of the Blissology Podcast. I'm your girl, Cece, and I'm joined by my hubby. What's up, babe?
I'm great, everybody. Welcome back. It's always a pleasure to have you guys with us every Saturday morning. If this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe and hit on the notification bell so we can notify you when videos like this one come out. Now, this is a weekly podcast, and in this podcast, we talk about
love, life, family, relationships. Y'all know what we do here. And welcome back to a new month. It's October already.
It is.
Y'all, the days are flying, the months are flying, the weeks are flying, okay?
The people are flying.
Before you know it, it's going to be
December.
I don't want to say it, but y'all, it's going to be December before you know it. So do what you got to do, okay? Because listen, I feel like last week we started the year. Yesterday, yeah. I feel like it was January.
The time kind of flew by.
It flew by like crazy. Anyways, but I'm grateful, right? And love,
we are grateful.
So we're not complaining, God. We're just saying, okay, I guess this is what happened when life be lifing, when you be busy with things that you have going on, and children that are like busy, keeping you busy. So I'm just saying, I needed to get this out of my chest, y'all. Okay, so I had to.
Anyways, listen.
It's not even a blissful moment. I feel like that.
She got it off her chest. She should be feeling better now.
It's not even the blissful moment. I feel like this was my blissful moment, but
since she's talking about blissful moments, so let's get into it. I guess now you can tell us what your blissful moment is.
I mean, I was just complaining. That was not blissful. I mean, I can say my blissful moment. You know, we've been, like I said, I don't know. I think the only thing I can think of is just that, with us having some family nights in the middle of the week, it's been fun. The kids were singing along, and my husband last Wednesday, he was like singing along to Moana song. The man was all over the place. We're like, how could you not know the song? Right?
I realize I can't sing. See, I'm bad with song. There'll be like 2 words that I get in tune, and the rest of it,
I feel like he only had "You Welcome." That's the only part he had because he knew
2
that
words.
song. Just the "You Welcome" part. I mean, the kids did great. The kids know all the words. They know all the songs, y'all. Karaoke night is just crazy here. So the kids did good. I think I did good too, but you gonna be out here singing. I'm a singer. I can sing. So is my youngest one. She can sing too. We're gonna have a band. Okay.
Don't put me in it.
You'll be the backup singer.
I don't think I'm even good to do backup.
Damn.
Backup, you got to be able to go with whatever the music is.
With the rhythm, right?
Yeah. Oh, maybe with a lot of training.
Yeah. Oh, you be the manager. We'll let you be the manager. We'll let you.
I'll negotiate the contract.
I mean, you're too nice. You're too nice. I don't think I work for you. You're too nice. You can negotiate contract.
You can get people to do what you want.
Listen, when you're too nice, I feel like people will take advantage of you. But
anyway.
So you have a blissful moment, baby? What is your blissful moment?
My life is bliss.
Okay. Amen.
Amen. I'm here. I'm alive. We've had some fun. Yeah.
But you know what? I feel like you've been slacking on the blissful moment though lately. We gotta give us something excited. What happened? Something exciting, I should say. Like, give us something exciting.
Wow.
There
Is
we
that
go.
exciting enough?
There you have it.
There we go. Anyway, so before I go crazy in this thing, trying to find some excitement for CC, let's get into the topic of the day, which is What's the difference between being too picky or settling in a relationship?
That's right. That's right. Listen, dating can be fun and exciting, right? Because it was for us.
Or it can be a chore. We all can feel differently about dating, but we can agree that it's exciting to meet someone new, and it's it becomes a chore when it becomes, geez, man, I was out yesterday. I got to be out again today.
I could feel like this was you, though.
Yes.
Yeah, because you were doing a lot of driving back and forth, driving back and forth from your house to my parents' house.
Yes. If I saw you yesterday, I don't have to go see you today.
I feel like it was fun and exciting for me because I didn't have to do
No,
much.
you just sat there and I showed up.
Yes. Yes, I did. And it was fun and exciting.
Listen, chore or not, I found her.
Hey, amen.
And I'm kipping her.
You better. I hope so.
Oh, she's kipping me. But either way, sometimes it's necessary to do that. If you want to get into a relationship, sometimes you have to put up with the chore aspect of dating just so you can get with the right person.
Right.
You can also be too picky about your potential partner.
I know I was picky.
Some people are.
Because I don't settle. I was making sure that my husband was like, exactly. But y'all know this is not true. When you want him to be exactly the way you had him in your mind, like the way you picture him or her, it's not going to happen.
And I don't think you should settle. No one should settle in a relationship. However, the issue would be is that if you're expecting Mr. Perfect, that person doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So they need to be a point where you get to it to say, am I settling or am I being too picky?
I agree. You either have all or you have nothing, because you can't be. Listen, y'all, nowadays people are very picky because
people know what they want.
People know what they want. And I think with our millennials and the Gen Zs, the newer generations.
Or people base what they want on what they see other people have.
Hello, somebody. That's a good point, baby. That's a good point.
Listen,
I agree.
Some of us go around and make a list of things.
I agree.
I've heard
That's
of
true.
that, right?
That's true. I agree.
This person's got to have this. They got to have this. They got to have this. They got to have that. They have to behave this way. It's a whole list of things. And some people wants to make sure they have a check mark.
One thing I got to say is that when I was dating you, I feel like, yes, I didn't have like someone that I see that I wanted to have my life like them. My parents, of course, because, we see our parents married for a long time. We want to have what our parents have. I always say that. I always say I want what my mom has. My dad is a good dude. He's a great dad, a great husband. Mm-hmm. And then my husband become to be just very similar like him. And God, look at God. He was born in January. My dad was born in January. So he's like, okay, you asked for it, here we go. But here's my thing though. I never had like where I want what she has. And I want to make sure that whatever she has, I want to have that. Whatever that she has at her house, I want to have what she has at her house.
Oh, well, you're your own person. And I think all of us have to remember that.
That's the beauty of unique. Not everybody think of it that way, though, babe. People think like.
And even though she's saying like, I'm like her dad. I'm not like her dad.
You're not like my dad.
Yes, we may have some traits that
A lot of traits.
But I'm not like her dad.
You're not like my dad.
For once, I'm taller than your dad.
Okay. He was tall too. People always what happens when you get older. You shrunk. You gonna see what's gonna happen to you when you get older.
Yeah, but you know what? Hey, listen, there's expectations I think that make sense, and there's expectations that does not make sense.
Yes.
And if you kind of hung on to those expectations that do not make sense, you can be crossing off people off your potential list of partners that could have be a great person for you.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I truly feel like sometimes you really have to be okay with him not being 7 foot, like 6'1" or 7'2", right? It's okay if he doesn't have the car that you want him to drive. For now, eventually he'll have it, I think, in the beginning, we get so picky, and it's true. And there's a lot of women out there too who's not willing to settle for less of what they want.
And so that could come down to a matter of personal preference. Yes, some people don't do well with shorter individuals. If you know that this is something that's not you,
if
not someone's 4'2",
my number one on my list.
If someone's 4'2", that's like extremely short, and you've always wanted to be with a taller person, you may not want to settle because eventually you're gonna have issues.
Listen, I am 5'7". Although my husband think I'm 5'2", but I'm not. I'm tall, and I've always wanted to have a man who's tall. And I said, you know what? I don't want short dude. And God heard my prayer, not sending any short people my way, because most of the people that was talking to me back then, they were tall.
You sure they were?
You taller than them. I mean,
a couple of midgets.
You 6'2" or 6'1". They were like 6 or 5'11".
They're a lot shorter than this.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm better than they were.
Okay, baby. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
See, I told you I have issues. I've said many times I have issues, and that's one of them.
Yes.
Sometimes I throw shades.
He does.
But listen,
and he knows how to do them.
Yeah, I do that.
You do.
But going back to settling, I know. Yes, sometimes we can bend a little, but if you have some like must-have things that you know that you can't be without,
right?
Yes, it may be part of a checklist, but if those things are like non-negotiable, you shouldn't settle for something that's not. And I used height earlier to say that if you're someone who someone tries to turn off for you, don't tell yourself that. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a try. I think we'll be okay. I think I'll grow into it.
Sometimes I feel like that's out of desperation.
That could be.
Yes.
Hey, listen, but you know what? When you choose to ignore things that are important to you, some of those non-negotiable, with the intentions of, or with the hope that you would get used to it, you're giving up something.
I agree.
And eventually it's going to catch up with you and you're like, okay, this is not me, and move on. Then you find yourself wasting a year or two, hopefully less than that.
Right.
But you have to know what you don't want to negotiate.
I agree. And I think, as girls, ladies, we do have high expectations. It's something that we were taught growing up. All of the kids, all the young girls, I'm pretty sure at some point your mom had
kinda told you this is what you should.
Yes, my mom did, and I'm doing the same thing with my daughter. Say, listen, of course they're still young, they're not the age yet, but I feel like we all should have that talk with our girls when they get older. Hey, listen, don't settle for less. At the same time, don't be too picky. You can compromise when it comes to certain things. Yes, we are going to not want to settle for less because, hey, you got to keep yourself up as a young woman. I was told by my parents. So why should I not carry the same message to my daughter when they get older, right?
Yeah, we got to be able to tell our kids, or at least help them understand that there's some stuff that's just not for you.
Yes. And I think if you're dating someone too, like if you're a young woman, you're dating someone out there, you should never settle for less than what you deserve. And you have to know what it really feel like. Okay, you know what? I know I have this, and this, and this. I am not willing to. There's women out there who rather stay single than settle for less, unfortunately.
Anyway, so we're going to go over some signs that will tell you if you are being too picky. We have to be able to check ourselves.
Yes.
Well, I don't have to check myself anymore because I've already made my choice. But if you're in a relationship, you need to be able to look at yourself to say, am I being that? So when it comes to pickiness, we talked about the checklist earlier. If you have that checklist and you look at the checklist and you say, whoever I'm going to get with, they have to have everything that's on that checklist.
The height.
Or they're not for me.
Yeah.
That's being too picky.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And you really gotta, that's actually true. That's actually true. If you gotta like check every single one, if you have a list of 10 items.
10? Some people's got like 20, 30 items on the list.
Okay.
there's no way you will find someone that has everything on that list.
Because we're not perfect. You may have this in your mind, right? You may have Mr. Perfect in your mind. I didn't. I know that, life is just the way it is. You're not going to have, it's not like you're going to say, God, I need you to create this man for me. He got to be 6'1". He got to have, 6 figures, and he got to be whatever color that you want him to be. And he got to have hair, or he got to have this and that and that. It's not going to happen, because you know that this is not how things goes. You have to be able to be like, you know what? It's okay if he doesn't have item number 5 or item number 7 or item number 10, and we can work something out. It's okay. But here's one thing I want to say, but there's certain things on that list though, like financial stuff, he got to have that. We got to have something to work with.
And that's why earlier I mentioned there's some non-negotiables. There's certain things that's important, that's crucial for your relationship.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure those things are there. And if they're there, then you're good. If they're not there, then maybe you can make a different choice. But when you have a list that has all the little tiny, sometimes insignificant things, but to you it's important, and you have to be able to check them all off before you get with someone, you're bound not to.
I agree.
And I think sometimes it's better that we focus on how this person makes you feel, how this person treats you.
Yes.
Do you see yourself having a future with this person? Because believe me, there may be things that you check off on that list that's present now, and God forbid some craziness happens.
Yeah.
Way deep in the relationship, what are you going to do? You're going to kick this person to the curb if they no longer have the thing that you had checked off?
Right.
And that's why you have to even those financial things, people run into health issues that could bankrupt you.
Right.
What are you going to do? You're going to kick him or kick her to the curb when that happened?
Yeah.
No, but if you click with someone, and obviously from the get-go, you see this person as someone you can make a future with. Yes, there's certain things on the list. I think you got to make sure they're there. There's some precautionary things.
Yeah.
But focus more on, is this person a great partner? Not so much based on what they have, but who they are.
Right.
You'll make a better choice.
I agree. And I feel like another sign that you are too damn picky is that you look for things to be wrong. Okay, there's nothing wrong with him, but then you got to find something. There's got to be something here that's not right.
He's 1 inch shorter than you expected him to be.
I can't stand the way this man eats.
Maybe this man is and chew a bit unusual.
My husband sometimes be chew weird. Like the way he chew his food sometimes be get on my nerve, but I'm getting used to it because
she's a crazy slow eater.
I am.
I don't play with my food.
He's a slurper. Is that the word?
Well, yeah. Sometimes I slurp on my on my tea.
And it gets
but
on my
when
nerve.
You're drinking
tea,
hot
coffee.
When I'm drinking hot tea or hot coffee, I don't do it often, but I have to be cautious not to burn myself.
I drink hot coffee. You don't be hearing me slurping.
Well, you drink coffee every day. I don't.
What does that have
You've
to do
already
with?
developed the skills to be able to test it and not hurt yourself.
Does
I don't.
this make sense? It doesn't make sense.
When you slurp, you can kind of feel how hot it is as you take them. This way you don't take so much coffee in before you burn your tongue.
I don't know about that.
You're a professional coffee drinker.
Okay.
I am not.
Okay.
So I slurp. Now I have to slurp in silence because she can't stand
I
the
can't
slurp.
stamp it. I can't stamp it. I can't stand it. I really can't. If we were dating, I think we would have a problem with that because you loud when you're drinking your tea or your coffee.
Yeah, but don't look for things to be wrong. If something's good, expect it to be good. Obviously, don't be a fool. Don't be naive and let someone play you either. But if you have a good thing in your hands, if you find yourself a good person, don't look for little things to make that person not be good.
Yeah.
That's you being too picky.
Exactly.
And if you find yourself looking for things, you probably don't want to be with this person anyway. You're just looking for a way out.
Right.
So save yourself the headache.
Yeah.
Just
cause
call it a quit.
Listen.
Or have some fun and then move on.
Yeah, don't waste your time.
But don't hurt that person either. So now have some fun and move on. Don't be evil about it, Listen.
what other signs would you say it's signs that you're being too picky about?
Listen, if I run across someone and you have not been in a relationship in a long time,
Okay.
I'm gonna have some questions.
What kind of questions would you have?
Because sometimes people are alone. It's because they have a list that is so tight that can never find someone that fits what in that list. So they
Right.
find themselves being on. So yes, we're gonna have a conversation as to what's been going on.
Right. Why you been Why you been
Listen.
single for 5 years?
You most likely have. Now, this is not me looking for something to be wrong. But if you're like a grown ass person,
You're gonna make the ad not run. If you use that word.
if you're a grown person, male or female, you able and capable of being in a relationship and you haven't been in one, there have to be some reason. Yeah, there could be other reason. Maybe you were focused on your career and you didn't want to be bothered with someone. Maybe you had a really crazy relationship years in the past and you were protecting your heart. There could be valid reasons.
Yeah.
But it could be that everyone you come across, before you even say hi, you pull out your list and you check it off. And that person doesn't have this? No.
Next.
The car they're driving is not,
Up to date.
no. Or maybe they don't have the right haircut. No. Maybe they're not wearing a designer shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
Yeah, designer
that could be the
clothes.
case where you're so picky that your list is outrageous, that makes it impossible for you to even come across anybody.
Right.
So we'll have some questions. I'll
I
have some
agree.
questions if
Good.
I was in the market. Granted, I'm not, but if I was looking, and you've been single for years and years and years, yeah,
Maybe there's no one at the Bible study to.
oh, you could be crazy religious and you just don't want to mess around until a
Yeah.
certain age.
There.
That could be valid reason.
Yeah.
And we'll find out. You better don't lie to me. Anyway,
I mean, if you're younger, that's different. If you're like college years
I'm talking about a grown person
You're
who are
talking about
able and
grown
capable
person
of
who's
being,
like
should
in
be
their-
in a relationship.
in their 30s,
Yeah.
40s. Okay. All right. I hear you. I hear you. But I
Yeah.
know some people, but I guess there's something wrong with them.
There could be. Listen, there's a lot of people
My
walking out
husband
there.
say
and-
if you've been in the market for a long time, if you're being out of the market,
yeah.
if you're being like on the shelf for a long time,
Well, you could have been in the market for a long time, but no one's been buying. Yeah, you could have been in the market, but no one's putting offers.
okay.
What?
All
It's,
right, baby.
well, you're not a piece of property, so no one's. Anyway,
We not listen. Give us our respect, okay? We demand respect here. We're not a piece of property. We're not a house that you come and look.
let's move on to the
at.
next thing you should keep an eye out for. If you believe that there's someone out there who will fit everyone on your list, you're being delusional. Or
Yeah.
listen, some of us guys or some ladies are very clever. They'll tell you what you want to hear. But if someone's telling you what you want to hear, know that this person is not in it for the long term. They just want to have some fun and move on.
Okay.
So, but the fact that you believe that all these craziness you have on your list, there's someone out there,
The perfect person.
you will most likely never meet this person. So look at your list and be flexible with it.
I agree. You know, we all have our own perfect person, though.
Yeah, well, the perfect
I think-
person.
It's just in a way where, you know what? You may not be perfect to somebody else, but you're perfect to me.
Yeah, but the perfection is not going to be based on the list. It's
Yeah.
most likely going to be based on how
Right.
well do we do it.
Right.
Do we get when we get with how well do we do with each other?
Right. Like someone may see you as, you know what, well, it's too nice or he's too humble. He's not the right person for me. And I'm like,
That's
this
what
is
I'm
my
looking
partner in crime. This is my ride or die right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like you, my perfect man, my perfect partner, and you may not be to someone
Someone
else.
else's.
Just-
Yes,
yeah.
I mean there's such a thing, and in that case, it makes sense, but it's still not based on a list.
Yeah.
Nah, based on who I am as a person.
Listen, when I saw that they with all black, I'm like, he doesn't, whatever, if it's good or bad, he says it. I didn't have to base it on a list. I was like, he's all black. He look good. And we're in church. The Lord says the man in black, this is yours. And I'm taking it. I'm taking it. And I did. I stamped it. I took him home. And then I was like,
she tied me down.
Took him to my parents' house.
She tied me down.
Yeah, we were actually met at, you met my parents at their 25th anniversary.
Your dad was looking at me funny.
Well, yeah. Like, who you? But you had already met my parents before that.
Yeah, but the way that you were like going over me, they're like,
I was going over you, sir, please. Although you had all black, yes, I was really saliving all over you.
We have a picture that she was like,
listen, like I said, he was all black, okay? And I have a thing for men in black, only for my husband. But
we've gone over a few things that falls into the criteria of being too picky. Now, let's look at some of the signs that you may be settling. Well, some people makes it a point to rationalize about someone in their relationship.
Yes.
This person may have some bad habits. They're like, I think they'll get better.
Yeah.
With time, they'll get better.
I've heard that before. Yes. Yes.
Or I'm not really attracted to this person, but you know what?
But they work hard.
They work hard. They have a good job.
Out.
They drive a decent car.
Yes.
I need someone to pay some of my monthly bills. So I'm going to get with this person. I think over time, I will learn to love this person.
Yeah, like I don't love everything about you, but over time, I would learn to love you. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a sign you're settling down. You're making up reasons in your mind as to why it makes sense.
Right.
Listen, if you think you deserve better, and the better may means someone that treats you right. It may not necessarily mean someone that has all the money that you want, because better may mean different things to different people. But if you believe you deserve better, maybe your ideal person needs to be able to lift 200 pounds, but this guy can only lift 50 pounds.
I'm okay with you lifting 50 pounds.
I'm just saying,
I know.
If you go in it and say, man, I think I can make it work. I think I don't quite like this, but I think over time I get used to it.
Right.
You're settling.
Yeah.
Now, hey, listen, settling is your thing. By all means, continue. But I bet you eventually you're going to say, oh, man, I should have never done this. And before you know it, you're out.
Right.
Save yourself the aggravation.
Yeah.
If you find yourself rationalizing as to why it may make sense, and you keep saying, yeah, it's not quite this, but it's not quite that, but that's a sign.
Yeah.
That's a sign you're lowering your standards.
Yes. Just so you can make you happy.
I don't think it's happiness. I think it's filling a void that you have for the time being, and you're like, okay,
I feel like, you know what?
I'm gonna get with it. That's not quite what I wanted, but I think it'll work.
Yeah, we can make it work. It's like you go and buy a pair of shoes, but you wear a size 8 and you're trying to fit in size 7. But you make it work.
I guess this analogy will work for ladies. You know what? You start getting like crazy pain the first time you wear it.
Yes.
And then the next day you're like, I hate those shoes.
They're too painful. I should never settle. Yes. I think that's a good one. I know. Definitely another sign is a fear of you being by your damn self.
Yeah. Being alone can be scary. And some people can settle for.
Oh my goodness.
For less
I know a lot of people actually have that fear because, as you're approaching a certain age, you up there, you don't want to be by yourself.
And let's face it.
You have that fear of, hey, time is ticking. I'm going to get whoever come my way, whoever is available.
It's not fun being alone. You know that, right?
I know it's not. Listen, it gets cold sometimes.
I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have a partner early on. But I feel for anyone who's by themselves and who wish they had a partner.
Right.
However, if you're getting someone just because you need a companion and you have nothing else in common with this person, you're just afraid that, shoot, I'm tired of being alone.
Right.
You're settling.
Yeah.
Now, let me say this. If you get to the point where you feel, man, I just can't take this anymore, I'm not going to judge you if you get someone just so they can fill in that void. Just know that if you're looking to establish something long term, that may not be the choice to make. Because if you don't have anything in common with this person besides them being there to keep you companion,
right,
it'll be difficult to build a life with this person.
I agree. You know, so while you were talking, I actually was thinking about open relationship, and I said, you know what? Next podcast is going to be about open relationship, because there's people actually who are afraid of being by themselves.
And they have an open relationship.
Yeah. So we're going to bring that.
That's interesting. I haven't looked into open relationship.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to learn a thing or two.
I don't know if it's something in our community, like, you know, there could be.
Listen, there's a lot of things happening on the low down that you don't know.
Yeah. It's like it's open, but it's only open to one person. It's like it's open, but I'm hiding it, you know, where some people in our community, I would say, may have other stuff going on, and then the other person don't know what's going on.
And I've heard some craziness.
But then again, it's not an open relationship. If it's not open, if it's open, then we both got to be agreed that we open to seek other people.
Yes.
But if it's one person seeking the other one, then it's not.
It's called having an affair.
Is it like halfway open? But it's not really open. It's like one door open.
Open relationship is based on, you're right, a mutual agreement that we both agreed we're going to do that.
Right.
That's the extent of the knowledge I have when it comes to open relationship. I think what you're talking about is someone having an affair. And it's been happening, you know. Wife thinks, you know, everything's cool, but the husband is tippy-toeing out, doing his thing, and the wives are bad too. The husband think everything's good, and the wife is tippy-toeing out to go get her groove on. So that's not open relationship. That's having affairs.
We're going to talk about it next time on the podcast. We're gonna talk about it here, baby.
The different level of open relationship.
Okay, listen, we're going to go high and low.
I don't know how many levels there are. But anyway, you know, don't get someone just because you're desperate.
Yeah. But we've seen it happen, though. We've seen it happen where sometimes, you know, I got to say this. People got to do what they got to do.
Like I said, it's not fun being alone.
It's not fun. At the same time, it is what it is sometimes.
It is what it is.
You know, if you're going to enjoy yourself. But if you don't want to make it a commitment, don't commit to that person. You know, but if you got to enjoy yourself, just enjoy yourself.
Satisfy your urges, and then you can move on. When you getting in a relationship, it's important, and I know we mentioned it earlier, that there are certain things that are non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. And if you're looking to settle with someone,
right? If
you're ignoring some of those non-negotiables, you're settling.
Yes.
Right? If your goal is to start out, you know, financially sound, and then you get someone who can't hold a job, barely making ends meet, you're settling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or if your goal is to, you know what, I've saved enough to make sure I can get into a home, and then when you get with someone that does not have a penny to their name, they're working, they spend badly, but you're a saver.
Yeah.
And you find that, I'm still going to, I'm going to make it work with this person.
They got bad credits.
So there are some non-negotiables. When you find that you're ignoring those non-negotiables, you're settling. You're settling, and sometimes you would pay dearly for it.
Yeah. And there's some stuff I would not settle for. Like, if it got bad credits, I can't. I didn't
check your credit before we got together.
I had no credits. My dad would not let me have a
so
credit card.
if someone does not have credit, you can still get them. Obviously, she turned out okay.
Listen.
But bad credit is bad.
Or not having any credit is also bad. But you gotta have something. And I didn't have one until we got married.
Yeah, sort of. I kind of got her on the program.
My parents, when you are raised by island parents, they don't believe in credit cards. But y'all, we grown and we realize that credit cards is not the good way sometimes.
Well, listen.
But it's good to have it to build credit. Okay?
Everything if you have something, you use it responsibly, then you're good. But if you get a bit irresponsible with it, then you pay for it.
Yeah.
It's a cause and effect.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so,
but then I'm going to go back and say they got to have good credit and they got to have their finances in order. Listen, I want to say it doesn't have to be a whole lot. Listen, we can say, you know what? It's okay. We work on it together. But I'm not going to settle if you have nothing. Like if you're like in your mid-20s, 30s, 40s, you got to have something for us to work with. You know, if your credit is jacked up, we can
You going back to that credit.
We can listen. If you're out there, you need help with credit, let me know. Listen, if you are, if we're together and we see there's something here, we can work it out and get it.
There's many of these things you can work.
Get those items disputed.
Some of the things that's a lot harder to work is if this person is lazy, then if working hard to them is like an impossible thing,
right?
Then you have a problem. If this person has no drive to do anything,
this
one has no ambition, they have no vision, they want to do nothing but sit around and
go to work.
Not just go to work, it's whenever they feel like it. Then that's a problem. But credit, I've heard many stories where spouses help each other build credit or repair their credit.
Right.
Spending habits that could be changed.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that's difficult to change, and you got to look at these things. So, being too picky and settling can get in the way of you getting into the right relationship. Obviously, pickiness would put you in a position where you're expecting too much and your expectations could be unreasonable. Settling is the opposite. It's when you're giving up on things that's important to you. So as you get into a new relationship or as you progress into your existing relationship, look to see, are your expectations beyond what's reasonable? Now, what's reasonable may mean different things to different people.
Right.
But are you looking for something that does make sense? And if it doesn't make sense, can you go without it? Can you still have a good relationship without that thing? If you can, then carry on and cross that off your list and move on. But on the flip side, you got to look at settling. Am I saying that this is okay when it's not really okay? And if you find yourself saying that, or at least making yourself believe that it's okay, but right deep in your heart you feel that it's not, then you're settling. At that point, you have to make a decision.
Right. So
as you go through your relationship, check yourself to see, are you in the right relationship? And are you expecting or are you giving up things that doesn't make sense? And if you could do that assessment and at the end of the day, you feel like, you know what, this is the right relationship for me, by all means, have fun, enjoy life, enjoy your partner and grow together, have some kids, buy a house, travel the world, whatever couples do to enjoy the moment they spend together.
Hey.
Right. So that's the difference between being too picky and settling. And believe me, the settling part, that's a no-no. Yeah. I say no and no and no to it, because you could settle now, but later you realize that was the worst mistake that I made. And before you know it, you're breaking up, you're tearing things apart. And believe me, it's a lot easier to get married than it is to get a divorce.
Yes.
The attorneys loves it. They'll make a lot of money off of you.
They sure do.
But anyway, this is our podcast on settling or being too picky. So I hope the slow talk we've had give you guys a lot of different things you can look into. So Please share it with anyone you think this may be valuable to. Remember to subscribe if this is your first time with us. Please like and leave us some comments. If there's some things that you think is necessary or think that's important that we didn't mention, please throw it in the comments. We'd like to hear your thoughts and your opinion or anything you may have experienced in your own relationship. So until then,
Yes.
we'll see you.